Oh, I read some really interesting shit about how Iceland beat the bankers. When Iceland went bankrupt, and then the bankers tried to pull this shit where, yeah, we were greedy cunts, and now we're putting the debt on you and your taxpayers. They said, you know what? Fuck you. This isn't our debt. This isn't our mess. It's yours. And then all these fucking sellout cunts like fucking Amsterdam and Britain put all this pressure on fucking Iceland because they pussied out with the bankers. They've been on their knees sucking that banker cock for fucking ever. They tried to fucking get them to come along. They tried to pressure them, or else we'll turn you into the Cuba of the North. And they said, fuck you. We're not doing it. And you know what? That's what this country should have done. This country should have told those banker fucking cunts. I'm beside myself that it isn't brought up more. It's the whole thing. Like, I have water damage to my house. My insurance company sends a check that's made out to me, Nia, and then my mortgage company. And we have to sign the check over to them so they keep the money. And you know why that is? Because they fucked so many people so fucking hard in the ass. So many people are upside down in houses because of the bullshit that they created by making people who aren't qualified for loans qualified. So instead of having 5 people bid on a house, you got 10 people bidding on it, and it goes up like Super Bowl tickets, right? And all of a sudden, a house that's really worth $180 sells for $270. So you got these cunts. Everybody's fucking upside down in the house. So they're like, well, fuck it, I'm keeping this money. And then when they foreclose on it, they fucking come in, and they're like, fuck, they never fixed the roof. So now I have to sign over my goddamn money. It's my money. It's my insurance. That's my insurance money. I have to send it into them. You know why? Because, people, it's not my house. It's their fucking house. It's theirs. All right? And if I ever pay this fucker off, which I'm gonna, I drive a 6-year-old hybrid. All right? I don't give a fuck. I dress like Malcolm Young because I'm getting these cunts out of my life. And this is what's going to happen. I'm going to pay off this fucking house. And you think when I die, I can just give it to somebody else? It's my house, right? If I can fucking give away all my other shit, why can't I give the house? The house is going to have all taxes and all these penalties and all this bullshit. And whoever I fucking leave it to is going to be like, you know what? It's just going to be easier to sell it. And then they sell it. And whatever money they make, they get the shit taxed out of them. They get half a dick in their ass. And then somebody else buys this thing. And then the bank goes balls deep in them for another fucking 30 years. You know what? Halfway through that, I realized, am I sounding crazy or am I making sense? I don't know. I talked to a banker in a titty bar. He agreed with everything I said. Dethroning the bankers. Dear Bill, I know how much you hate the banker cunts, and was wondering if you ever considered getting into Bitcoin. The decentralized nature of the currency creates no need for central banks controlling everything. I'd suggest creating a Bitcoin wallet and playing around with a small amount of Bitcoin to learn how the system works. It's the most exciting thing in technology and finance since the invention of the internet. Love the podcast. Thanks, and go fuck yourself. And he's nice enough to leave the Wikipedia definition. Either that or Andrew Themelis. Let me know what this is. Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer payment system and digital currency introduced as open source software in 2009 by pseudonymous developer Satoshi Nakamoto. Dude, Japanese people got the best fucking names. Satoshi Nakamoto. That's a fucking killer name. Bill Burr. Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto. How would you say that if he scored a goal? I can't do it. All right, let me just continue here. ADD. It's a wonderful thing. It's cryptocurrency, so-called because it uses cryptography, oh Jesus, to control the creation and transfer of money. Conventionally, Bitcoin refers to the technology and network, whereas lowercase bitcoins refers to the currency itself. Yeah, well, the big problem with this is it's created by human beings. I don't think that bankers are necessarily evil. I just think that they are more evil than I am. They're in a position
to absolutely devastate everyone walking the planet. International bankers have that ability. But I really think that the more I don't know, the more I read up on it and stuff, it's just a bunch of greedy cunts. And like somebody's saying right now, the big conspiracy is that they're going to try to bankrupt all currencies to eliminate all wealth on the planet and then come back with the new currency. And, well, I know that they're not going to eliminate their own wealth. So they're going to make everybody on the planet broke except for them, and they're going to survive. Now, maybe they can do it, but how do you pull that off? That seems like that would have a very finite life before people were just like, all right, I don't know about you guys, but there's like 9 people left in the world that can afford a 3-piece suit, and it's not any one of us 7 billion. What do you say we go over there and beat them with their pocket watches? You know, it's eventually, wouldn't that happen? I don't know. Yeah, I would just like to go back to just open bartering, just trading shit. Hey, I'll give you this shirt for that sandwich. I got plenty of shirts. Fuck. Going hungry again, but look at my waistline. I look awesome. All right, I'll read up on it, sir. I'll look up on it. I'll look up on it. I'll read up on it, and I'll look it up. How about that? I'll do both of those things. I'll look it up, and then I'll read up on it. A lot of up going on there. All right, donation currency. Hey, Bill, longtime listener. Love the show. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get right to the point. The person wrote blah, 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 blah. Before you think I'm being arrogant. Let's get right to the point. You should think about adding another way of donating on your website. Bitcoins. Why is that? You have fans in places so fucking strange that you don't even know where it is on the goddamn globe. Go fuck yourself. I know where most places are on the globe, and I know their capitals. At least I used to. It's in my head somewhere. They use different currency, which might be a problem. Bitcoin is providing an easy way to... Is this a commercial? An easy way to transfer wealth. Use it and welcome to the 21st century. By the way, I'm from Poland. It's really cold in here. It's a second language. All right. I would think that if whoever starts Bitcoin, if they don't get murdered in the next calendar year, then it's just started by the bankers. Or they're just going to buy it up. They'll sell out, right? I don't know. I'm not going to fucking start using a new currency. All right? I saw what happened with the euro. I'm going to go with Bitcoin that started by some fucking hippie Japanese guy. Or even worse, a businessman Japanese guy. Ah, Jesus Christ. You can't tell me they're not still upset by the 2-piece we gave them back in the 40s.
Russian guy outwits banks. Oh, I like this one already. Hey, Bill, thought you might enjoy reading this article about a Russian man who outwitted a bank by writing his own terms into their credit card contract. Jesus Christ, that's fucking phenomenal. How the hell did... That's like beating Bruce Lee at karate. Or kung fu. Or Jing Feng Ku, whatever the fuck he did. Article, here we go. The idea of beating the banks at their own game may seem like a rich joke, but Dmitry Agarkov, I don't know, 42-year-old Russian man. Sounds like he plays for the Red Wings, doesn't he? 42-year-old Russian man may have managed to do it. Unhappy with the terms of an unsolicited credit card offer he received from an online bank, Tinkoff credit system, Agarkov, sorry if you're listening, and I'm butchering this, or if you're of Russian descent. He scanned the document, wrote in his own terms, and sent it through. The bank approved the contract without reading the amended fine print, unwittingly agreeing to a 0% interest rate, unlimited credit, and no fees, as well as a stipulation that the bank pay steep fines for changing or canceling the contract. The bank has so much money they'll be able to get around this. But that's fucking genius. What a hero. Agarkov used the card for 2 years, but the bank ultimately canceled it and sued Agarkov for $1,363. The bank said he owed them charges, interest, and late payment fees. A court ruled that because of the no fee, no interest stipulation Agarkov had written in, he owed only his unpaid $575 balance. Look at this. 2 minutes left in the game, people. Is he going to win this or what? Agarkov is now suing the bank for $727,000 for not honoring the contract's term, and the bank is hollering fraud. They signed the documents without looking. They said They said to me what usually their borrowers say in court. We've not read it. Agarkov's lawyer said, the shoe's on the other foot now. Sorry, I really butchered the ending of that reading. So, well, I got to pay attention to that. Well, they'll settle out of court. I don't know, man. That's a hard. I mean, the fact that you just got out of paying the fees. I got to put this in my my computer here. I want to pay attention to that. Agarkov, Russian bank case. Okay, so it's still at that point. Hey, anybody in Russia listen to this thing? Can you please keep me abreast of this? I want to see if he gets any of that $727,000. All right? I'm going to do a little pregame analysis here. I'll tell you right now, I got to tell you, if I'm the bank, I got to be thinking, how did we end up in this situation? I would actually guess that they're not going to pay any of that. They probably got enough politicians and judges in their pockets. I mean, it's corrupt enough over here. I can't imagine what the fuck it's like over there. No offense, but it is what it is. Yeah, if anybody, I don't know, in Estonia, Latvia, if you're close enough, you can pay attention and let me know. I'd appreciate it. Lithuania, the Ukraine, Belarus, look at me. Huh? I've learned some shit. So anyways, this gets me to the super rich on how, you know, all of that shit about the Panama Papers and all that type of stuff. I was talking to another friend of mine who's a fucking lawyer. And I was like, how does that work? Like, how do you get your money out of the country? And then once it's out of the country, how do you make sure nobody steals it? Like what happened to Johnny Depp's character in Blow. And then once you have it out of the country, how do you get it back in without just getting taxed all over again or busted? And he said, basically, this is it. He broke the whole fucking thing down, all right? Or as far as I know, he broke an aspect of it down. I know all you guys are sitting there right now going, oh, Jesus, he's going to try to explain. I am. I'm going to try to explain some shit that was just explained to me, and I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. So let's get rid of one myth right out of the gate. I remember a long time ago, a friend of mine had a fucking landscaping business, and he already had a truck, and he went out and he bought this giant fucking, you know, one of those things with the dual wheels on the back and this fucking giant bed. It looked like you put cattle in it, right? And I was like, holy fuck, man, how much does that thing cost? And, you know, it was like the 80s. It cost like $25,000, which was a lot of fucking money back then, right? For a truck, you know? It's like $10,000 more than you pay. $25,000-$30,000 or some shit, right? I was like, holy shit, man, you can afford that? And he was like, yeah, it's a write-off. That's what a lot of dopes say. And it is a write-off. But what they think is that they can write $30,000 off of their taxes. What you can't. What you can do is you can write off. It's a write-off as far as that $30,000 that you just spent on that truck is untaxable. All right? It's sitting in whatever. You made that money. You made $30,000. If it's just sitting there and you don't put it back into play as far as reinvesting into your business, the government will tax you at the end of the year, you know, on that $30,000. And let's say you're in like a fucking, whatever, 20% tax bracket, that you'd have to give the government fucking $6,000. Right? That's it. So morons think, oh, I get to write in the end of the year, if I owed $40,000 in taxes and I bought a $30,000 truck, I get to take $30,000 off of my taxes. You wouldn't. You'd just be able to knock off $6,000. Right? You're not even knocking it off. You're just not getting taxed on that. Does that make sense? Probably doesn't, because I explained it. So anyways, when you have your own business, what you're trying to do is you're trying to come up with as many fucking write-offs as you possibly can. Many expenses, everything you possibly can to lower your basic, whatever your income as far as what is going to be taxable. So say you made fucking $100,000, all right? You grossed $100,000. The net is what you're left with after your expenses. You try to fucking come up with as many goddamn expenses as you can to get that $100,000 as far down as zero as possible. Ideally, you wouldn't want to pay any fucking taxes as far as these people look. But the bottom line is, you can only do it so much, and if you write off too much, the IRS is going to show up and be like, what's this fucking, 60 grand for fucking cheeseburgers, blah, 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 you tried to write off, and you're going to get busted. All right? So what these fucking super rich people do is the first thing they do is they get the fucking money out of the country, because the IRS's jurisdiction doesn't go beyond the borders. So what they do is they just create a company that doesn't exist. It's just on paper, right? So say you make $100 million, right? What you do is you go to a country that doesn't give a shit about America and lets you use it as a tax shelter. You just come up with some incorporated thing, like Who Gives a Fuck Inc., right? And then you just have that company bill your company a consulting fee for $100 million or whatever, of the 100 million, 30, 40, 50, whatever you don't want to pay taxes on, whatever. And then you write a check to that company that doesn't exist, that's really you. And then you send it out. So now it's out of the fucking country. And then what they do is they open up like 10 other these fucking shell companies, and they have those other companies build the first company, and then the third one builds the second one, the fourth one, and it's just gone. The money's fucking gone. Now the IRS can come at you and be like, what the fuck did you pay somebody $100 million consulting fee? And then you're telling me you paid somebody $100 million as a consulting fee? And then you just look at them and go, yes. And evidently there's nothing they can fucking do about it. So then I go, all right, so now it's out of the country, and then it's in this other country. How the fuck do you protect it? And he goes, well, those countries where these tax shelters are, they're in on the scam. So you just kick them 10% of the 100 million. You give them 10. Here's fucking whatever you can negotiate. We'll just make it easy. Here's $10 million bucks. So, I'll give you 10 million rather than giving the government fucking 50, 55, 60 million of that 100 million. I'm still fucking up 45 million. All right. So then I was like, all right, so now how do you get the money back? Because if, you bring the money back, you stick it into the bank, they're going to consider that earned income. Like, where the fuck did you get it? And this guy was like, they bring it back into the country in the form of a loan. Loans aren't taxable, right? Like if you get a fucking loan because you're already paying interest on it and everything, they don't tax you. So they just bring it back in the form of a loan, whatever the fuck you want to do. I want to buy a $10 million house. You have this shell company that's 10 times removed from the one that you paid from the consulting fee, right? And they can't follow the paper trail because it's in a different country, right? You just bring it back into the country in the form of a loan. And then you go buy a fucking house. And I guess, I don't know, you pretend to make payments, or the loan is forgiven by this shell company that's still you. I know I just glossed over that, and if anybody has more information on it, I find it absolutely fascinating. There's other ones, they just pretend that that's their main business, that shell company, so they just act like it's doing I don't know. That's as far as I can remember that what he told me, and I found that shit absolutely fucking fascinating, because at the end of the fucking day, as far as what they're doing, I know they're fucking over you and me because, the school systems go down the shitter because they don't have enough money. There's a lot of potholes. There's all kinds of stuff. You can't take care of homeless people. You can't build another gleaming structure for a fucking sports team, whatever the fuck it is. At the end of the day, as fucked up as that is, these people who are criminals, they're stealing from other criminals. As far as my conspiracy theory goes, the IRS is just a bunch of fucking crooks anyway. So, I mean, it's kind of fascinating watching these two giant, powerful entities fuck with each other. Meanwhile, I'm in the crosshairs, you're in the crosshairs, and we're all paying Elvis taxes. And there goes Hillary Clinton screaming in some Baptist church. Is she talking about that shit? Of course she isn't. Because when you bring the fucking money back in, you just don't bring it in and go out and buy yourself your fucking Ferrari California. What you do is, you do that, but what you also do is you walk around with nice wad of cash and you go, oh, hey, chief of police. Oh, look at that birdie over there. And as he looks over, you stuff a fucking wad of cash in his pocket, And then, is it an election year? Yeah, let me get, I'll take $2 million on Trump. Give me 2.5 on Hillary, and fuck it. Give me $500,000 on Bernie Sanders. What do you mean he's not taking any money from guys like me? Oh, is that right? Well, whatever. He won't get in. And if he does, I'll give $3 million to, silence him. That's what the fuck they do. And that's how they I'm convinced of that. I'm convinced as far as like stand-up comedy goes. You know why they're always giving us shit? Is because if stand-up comedians just organized, okay, and we donated to the campaigns of people running to the Democratic and the Republican parties, right? And then we bought a little ad time on CNN and on Fox News and all these major networks. If we did that, you'd never see another comedian getting in trouble for doing a fucking Caitlyn Jenner joke. Anyways, if anybody has any more information on that, or they can talk about it. I don't like if it's really dry. I just like I'm fascinated with people that do shit like that and then they go to bed knowing what the fuck they're doing. And they got to be thinking at some point, like, the wolf's got to be coming to the door at some point. Hang on one second. I got to answer this. All right, so I'm back. Of course, I completely forget what the fuck where I ended off. But what I really learned when I was, listening to this lawyer telling me all this shit. I know. I say the balls that takes to go to bed at night, knowing at any point, like, all of a sudden the fucking feds are going to kick in your fucking door. But I think that these guys are like the smarter ones. And when you watch like American Greed, what I noticed when I watched them, all of their fuckery was within the borders of the United States, which if you're too dumb to know, you don't realize you're not going to get away with it forever. But like once after talking to this guy, it just seems like anybody who just tries to have their entire illegal entity within the borders of one country is you're just on borrowed time. So I think when you watch American Greed, what you're really seeing is the hacks of, you always see these fucking idiots. They buy a house, they get all these fucking cars, and they have some strippers come over. Oh, my fucking laptop. Oh, that was a laptop hitting hardwood floors. Come on, baby. Come on, come around. You're all right. Hang in there. Help is on the way. Fuck. Oh, you fucking motherfucker. Steve Jobs is laughing somewhere right now. He's laughing at me because I got to give him money, and he also knows there's going to be another little kid's got to put it together. All right, it's saved. It's saved. So anyways, let's read a little bit of fucking ad shit here before my screen goes dark. Hang on a second. I find that shit, I find all that stuff fucking amazing. It's really, really interesting. If you just remove yourself from it, the humanity of it or whatever, and all the people that it's affecting and kids not getting better school books and shit, if you just look at the fucking game that's going on, it's really fucking interesting.
All right. French Revolution and bankers. Hi there, Billy Bandwagon. I've been a fan of the Monday Morning Podcast for a while now, and you were on the Crab Feet podcast. Oh, yeah, with Jay Lawson on the All Things Comedy Network, everybody. He said it reminded me of something. Pre-revolution France was almost identical to the way the U.S. is now. Oh, God, I hate when people keep predicting the demise of this country like they're giving us some sort of insight, like people in this country can't see it coming. All right? I'm not saying every mouth-breathing moron sees it coming, but, anybody who has any sort of intelligence, we see it coming, okay? All right there, Mr. fucking rubbing your goddamn chin. Actually, he's probably an American, too. All right, France in 1787 had grinding poverty, tax inequality, and was nearly bankrupt from the 7 Years' War. And then he writes, familiar? ? I'm not even going to read this fucking thing. You're already so up your own ass. Wow, I never looked at it that way. Wait, does history repeat itself? Gee, you're really onto something here, sir. Good fucking Lord. You know what's funny about this type of shit? Is this probably isn't even this person's thought. They're probably just regurgitating something else that they've read from a website, which I do all the fucking time. I do the exact same thing you're doing here, sir, except I don't go, familiar? Some people are confused. Why can't people just present a fucking an opinion without like patting themselves on the back about how fucking smart they are all the time? You know, you're a fucking moron just like me. Okay, I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna skip over. Familiar? Does that ring a bell? Pot calling the kettle? Hoo hoo hoo. Ah, with your fucking smoking jacket, you cunt. All right, here we go. Jesus fucking Christ. All right. He goes, familiar? It should be. The modern U.S. actually has worse wealth and tax inequality than 1787 France and even pre-fall of Rome. Dude, this is all old shit. I've already heard this theory a zillion times before you present it. And, you know, and I'm not going to fucking read this and get all fucking depressed because I understand this. This is why I got out of conspiracy theory and just got a dog, and I'm sitting here watching the bread and circus of fucking sports like I never have before, because there's no way out of this. Rather than present this shit to me, I want you to write back to me and give me your solution. You give me the fucking solution rather than pointing out the fucking obvious as you rub your goddamn chin. All right? Jesus fucking Christ. All right, sorry. I was having such a great goddamn day.
Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's the Monday Morning Podcast. Sorry, for the fucking March 2nd. I gotta tell you something. Oh, I'm coming out of the gate this week, people. I just did like 8 minutes. A great fucking 8 minutes, a great fucking riff, the whole goddamn thing. And then I look down and the fucking goddamn stupid ass fucking thing isn't even on. You know why? This is the exact same fucking device. I had the Olympus LS10. Now it's the Olympus 14. And wouldn't you fucking know? They couldn't just leave well enough alone. They got to add like 20 fucking steps and some stupid broad's fucking voice in there telling me what I know I'm doing. So I fucking riff for like 8 fucking minutes and I find out the thing isn't even fucking recording. I hate technology. Okay? I don't understand. Why do we keep going forward? All right? We got enough shit. This is as comfortable as it's going to fucking get. Why can't we just have the shit and this is how it fucking works? And when you figure something out, you know how it fucking works. Jesus fucking Christ. I told you guys, and I fucking will never stop bitching about these things. I fucking was talking on my podcast saying how, you know, I needed a new pair of fucking headphones one week, right? So some fucking person who listens to the podcast ended up sending me a pair of fucking wireless fucking headphones. Wireless fucking headphones. And I gotta tell you, I've never had more fucking problems with something in my life. You fucking sitting there, my whole life, headphones fucking work. You plug them into something that's charged. The headphones never, the amount of fucking times I sat there with my phone listening to fucking music. My phone is charged and then the headphones went out and I couldn't listen. It's just fucking, why did you add that step? Electronic pencil sharpeners and all that shit. And now it's just something that's gonna fucking, that drives me up the other one, the other pencil sharpener, you could buy a pencil sharpener once and you could have that thing for 100 fucking years. And little kids could walk up and be like, oh, this was my grandfather's. When he used to, you know, fucking sharpen pencils and when he built stuff. When we still had good wood in this country, right? It wasn't all wet because it was brand new fucking trees. It was old shit. Oh my God, dude, I was in such a great fucking mood. It's completely changed the whole fucking vibe of this goddamn thing. Anyways, let me relax. Calm down. Let me try to get back to where I was. I was in such a fucking great mood because I'm back out here in Los Angeles. Let me make sure this thing's recording. Let me make sure everything's okay. The goddamn nerve center here, you know? Fuck. But, you know, I don't apologize to the guy at the bank. I owe taxes, right? I owe taxes up in fucking Canada. So my accountant goes, you have to go to the bank. I'm going to send you an email with all the fucking account information. They can wire it up there. Bing, bang, boom, done. So I say, fine. So I go up, I download the thing. I bring my laptop. I fucking get this David Blaine looking dude, at the bank to help me out, right? So we walk into his cubicle area. We sit down. I have all the information on the computer screen. He starts going, all right, read me the VIN number. I know it's not that, but you know what I mean. And I'm like, what number? He's like, that number there. Read that to me. So I read it to him. He goes, all right, read me the next number. I go, which number? He goes, read me that number. And then I just finally look at him. I go,
I go, what do I work here? He's like, excuse me? I go, I feel like I work here right now. I'm like, look, just turn it around. Here's all the information. Type it in. And he goes, well, it's going to go quicker or something like that. And then he just kind of got quiet, right? I'm just fucking sitting there. And then after a couple minutes, he just kind of goes like, I don't understand, like, why you got upset there. I go, well, I'm not upset. I'm just calling you out on the fact you start treating me like your secretary. I don't work here. He goes, I'm not treating you like your secretary. I go, yeah, you are. You got me like reading off numbers and stuff. He goes, I'm just doing that because it'll be faster. And I go, well, I disagree. Well, what the fuck am I? You understand? You work at the bank. You're at the bank. You work at the bank. You get paid to work at the fucking bank. I'm the customer. This is what I need you to do. Do the fucking transaction. Jesus fucking Christ. These fucking goddamn, I'm going to say it. These kids today, everything about them it's interactive. Hey, man, like, hey, fucking reach out through the fucking interweb, man. Fuck off and do your job. But I didn't say any of that. I just said I disagree. That's the best I could do. But I just couldn't believe, he was like, but he was, what kills me is he's walking around saying that I'm a dick, which I am. I admit to that, but I'm fucking right. I got to sit there and read off fucking numbers to you? He goes, can you read this? He didn't even say please. He starts talking to me like I'm like I was like, did I just get hired as your assistant, you fucking cunt? I didn't even know what he was talking about, all of those numbers. I'm not a fucking banker. Every time he told me to read off a number, he had to explain what the number is. Like, how is that quicker? Oh, Jesus. So I meditated for the first time in about 6 weeks. I'm just trying. Yeah, I know. To the guy at the bank, maybe I could have explained it a little nicer. Maybe I couldn't have just flipped out here. But, know this. That's what I wanted to say in the bank, but I didn't. Okay? I just fucking kept my cool. But, like, you work at the bank. I don't. I need you to do this transaction. I have money in your bank. Back in the day, you guys used to give like 10%. 8% on fucking money in the bank. You now give like 0.0001%. Okay? So now you don't give me any money on it. You've loaned 10 times out on what I fucking have there. You guys invent money. You're literally counterfeiters. And now I have to go in there. You guys nuke the fucking economy every 8 fucking years, building housing bubbles or whatever, and you don't go to jail for it, and you leave Americans upside down in their houses, and you don't give a fuck. And then on top of that, I got to go in and read the fucking numbers off to you? Fuck off. I know this is childish for me to be sitting here alone, losing my mind, but I cannot lie to you and not tell you how fucking good this feels to get this out of me. Part of my meditation today is I'm actually doing this series on patience. Swear to God. And the guy said, oh God, what the fuck did he say? It almost made me mad when I was like, I wanted to debate with the guy, but I can't because it's just a recording. He basically said that when you lose your patience, it's because you have expectations of other people. Okay? And then when you react to that, it's like your fault for reacting to it. For having, you're wrong to have these expectations of people. And I'm thinking in my head, like that doesn't make any, I'm at this point, I'm wrong that I expect people to put in an effort at their job the way that I do. And the way that I did. And I'm not patting myself on the back, but when I always, any job I had, I fucking killed it. Unless I just literally didn't have the talent, like construction. I could bring you the shit. I just didn't have that gift. Or I tried to sell health insurance. I just wasn't good at it. And you know what I did? I had the decency with both of those jobs to quit within a week and a half. I didn't fucking sit there and torture people and just suck at my job as they came walking in, or worse, try to make them do part of my job. So I'm listening to this guy, and he's talking in a very soothing voice like this, some sort of British accent. When we walk in there, it's Headspace. Hello again, welcome to Headspace. When we have expectations of other people, gives us a tendency to, he tries to like lose our patience. Like, don't get all fucking jolly because you know that's, you know what it is? He's doing that because he knows there's an angry cunt like me laying on the ground going, like, okay, so now you're defending this guy at the bank. You weren't even fucking there, you know? So now basically what you're saying is in order for me to have patience, I have to basically treat people the way I treat my daughter, which is I understand that she's a baby and doesn't know anything yet, you know? So I have to have 100% patience with her, which I do. But that's because she's a baby. So now I'm supposed to walk in and sit across from a 27-year-old guy in his, you're going to like the way you look, I guarantee it, fucking suit. And as he tells me to do, how could I have done that better? I guess what I should have said is, sir, I don't mean any disrespect, but I'm not going to read those numbers to you. I feel that you work at the bank and I am the customer, and I feel that that crosses a boundary that I'm not comfortable with. Well, I guess I could have said that, right? And when he exhaled, I probably should, like, when he exhaled, like, it was like someone fucking twisted a knife in my back. I wanted to fucking, like, did you just fucking exhale? Yeah, because once again, I guess I had expectations that this guy, you know, I had the ability to fucking look at a paper with all the answers to the test on it while typing at the same time. I mean, I can do that. I could do that for half a page and I'll only make a couple of mistakes, and I taught myself how to do it. What the fuck? How much more easier does life have to be? And then, I was also thinking when I left, it was like, you know something? My wife would have just read the numbers off to him. She would have read the numbers off to him, and then afterwards I would have said, like, why did you just do that? You did your job. She goes, well, you're right. You're right. I probably shouldn't have done that. But, it got it done quick, I just didn't want to have the argument, blah, blah, blah. And she continues on, and she's a way, way happier person. On paper, I think. On paper. I don't know, something, the thing about women is the big red flag is the level of shopping that they do and the amount of shit that they buy. Like, that's, I don't know. There's a fucking unhappiness there. There's something psychotic going on with just the sheer amount of clothes and shit that they buy and just stuff that they fucking buy. I don't see tranquility in it. I feel like that's like eating fucking, C's candies. They just love having that UPS driver showing up and, oh, it's a little package for me, I actually judge how well my relationship's going by how often the fucking UPS driver comes to the door. If he's coming a lot, then I need to take her out to dinner or something. If he's coming every once in a while, then that's just her doing the woman thing of basically, fucking kicking our retirement right in the seats. All right, I didn't need to go. Okay. Whatever. I apologize to everybody. I apologize to that first guy at the fucking Verizon store. I apologize for the way I conveyed what I was trying to say to the David Blaine looking dude at the bank. I don't know. Maybe it's a new world. Maybe I'm just a fucking old guy. Maybe that's why I don't fucking know. I don't know. I still think I'm right. But I'm going to learn in the future not to have expectations of people and just sit there as the sands of my life slip away, waiting for somebody to do their fucking job that they get paid to do.
Ever since I got back from Canada, you bunch of freezing cunts, I just got back from there. And I kind of realized that when I go on the road with the fellas, we act like we're on some sort of bachelor party. I don't know what it is, minus the fucking who-is. Everything else, we basically, we booze and we smoke cigars and that thing. And it's just, it takes a lot out of me. And I got a bunch of shit I got to do, so I kind of need to be clear-headed as opposed to the usual. Usually when I got nothing going on in my life, I mean, I can fucking, I can have a few, right?
I can wake up the next morning like, oh, Jesus Christ, go get some fucking eggs or something, right? I can be in that mindset, but as of right now, I can't. So I have not done anything. I haven't done shit. I haven't drank. I haven't smoked. I'm eating pretty good. I'm even laying off the internet porn. I mean, it's just fucking over. I actually got this Time magazine that was about internet porn and how it's like fucking people up, you know, especially like kids, you know, when they first like just the shit. Who's kidding who? The shit you can see on the fucking internet. I can't believe nobody stepped in. I'm not saying somebody should step in, but you know, I got to tell you, if they knew what the fuck the internet was gonna be whenever Al Gore was inventing it back in the 80s, I never said that. I said that I was involved in the email chain, whatever the fuck he said. That fucking guy. Remember when his campaign was over? Remember when he was dancing around and all sweaty and all that shit? And how he just looked like he was so fucking relieved that it was over. What a thing to go through, running for president. I just saw a clip of Hillary Clinton. I have not been paying attention at all, but Jesus Christ, what the fuck happened to her? She looks like Earl fucking Weaver. She looks like Earl Weaver. She was doing something, right? She was standing in some black church, right? Baptist church, I'm going to assume. You know, I don't think it was a Jewish synagogue there, whatever the fuck they could, temple. She was in this green suit. She's just like yelling, the shit she was going to do. That's the only time a politician goes near the black community is when they're running. They swing by the church. They make a whole bunch of promises. And then they get in the fucking limo and they go, let's get the fuck out of here. Right? Fuck out of Dodge. And they go over, they do a town meeting. Talk to all the lunch pail Louis, right? Then if there's even those people left in this country, if you fucking make anything, and they get over there and they roll up their sleeves. That's when, you know, they're talking to the working man. They take off their sport coat and they roll up their sleeves. You know, like they're going to build something rather than just go out there and say the exact same bullshit they just said in the Baptist church with more of a fucking lunch pail swing to it, right? The whole fucking thing. It's just gross. I don't know how anybody sits there and watch that shit. But the latest thing that I've become fascinated with is I completely leave whatever the fuck I was just talking about. I'll come back to it, the clean living thing. Who wants to listen about clean living? It's the most boring shit ever. You know? Anyways, I've become fascinated with how super rich people avoid paying taxes. It's fucking fascinating. It's one of those things, you know, it's like you got to respect it on a certain level. It's the brilliance of it. And then there's a certain level of balls that takes because you're fucking with your freedom. Anytime you're fucking with taxes, you know what I mean? Fucking with the government. Anytime you're doing that, I mean, you know, what is that? I don't know what the fuck. Is that a federal thing? I guess if you're not paying your federal income tax, yeah, Bill, that would probably be a federal crime. I don't know. I always hear you got to cross state borders. Do you have to like not pay taxes and then leave your state before it becomes federal? I don't know. I don't know these things. But anyways, just the balls that it takes and the, I don't know. I don't like people physically hurting other people, that type of crime. But when there's something like robbing banks or tax evasion, or even a good old-fashioned fucking scam. If there's like an amazing level of thought behind it, on some level you gotta respect it, I think. You know what I mean? Like I remember a long time ago, there was some fucking guy, he figured out how to rob parking meters. And they were, allegedly, it was impossible to do. So this guy figured out how to fucking do it. It's amazing. And he did this shit. This is back in like the 80s or some shit. This guy figured out how to do it. So it was way, way, way easier to not have everybody breathing down your fucking throat. You know, people be having eggs watching you fucking robbing a parking meter. They didn't have a fucking smartphone on them. They'd just be sitting there going, look at this fucking guy just... Is that guy robbing a parking meter? Holy shit! The fucking guy got his fucking parking...
Did you see that? Anybody see that? That was it. That's all that fucking happened. Rather than some douche sitting there filming you and you're arrested before you even get home. Right? And then the fucking local newscasters, they always got to do some sort of fucking bad pun. You know what I mean? I'll tell you, this guy's life, his freedom is now going to change. You know, they do that. Somehow they get away with that in like fucking newspapers. Like they can have the biggest fucking puns ever and everybody thinks it's great. You know? I don't know. I can't even think of one right now, but whatever. You know, you sit at home and you think about it. You sit at your fucking cubicle instead of doing your goddamn work. You think of one. So anyways, this fucking guy figured out how to do this shit. And of course, the parking meter guards were beside themselves. You know what I mean? It was like one of those sci-fi movies. Or like the Titanic movie. Like, not even God can sink it. That's what they were like. Not even God could get the fucking quarters out of this meter. This meter, right? They were talking all kinds of shit. So this fucking guy figured out how to do it. And you're thinking like, all right, whatever, man. What the fuck you gonna do with that? Well, dude, there's fucking meters all over the city. So this guy, anytime he wanted a drink, if he wanted a fucking sandwich, dude, he had it perfect. It was like his own ATM machine before ATM machines. He'd just walk up, bing, bang, boom. He had a sack of fucking quarters. You go down to the bank. You go, hey, can I get one of some of them rolly fucking things there? Right? Yeah, sure. They don't give a shit. Nobody gave a fuck back then. Nobody was paying attention. They were trying to pay attention, but not to that type of shit. So this guy would roll the fucking quarters. You know? Rolls enough quarters. Next thing you know, he gets himself out. How the fuck would you get all those quarters down to a car dealership? I have no fucking idea. Although I talked to some drug dealers about how they fucking, or a guy who knew drug dealers. Let's be honest here, Bill. Let's not act like that news guy saying that you were in the war and then you were in a chopper or some shit next to the chopper and you didn't really fucking see it. Okay, you took a fucking helicopter tour one time. You weren't even in Iraq. Whatever the fuck he said. I don't pay attention to shit. So anyways, I was talking to this guy and basically how back in the day when drug dealers were still driving around in flashy cars, because from what I heard nowadays, they don't even want to attract that level of attention. How it used to be was any cash deal that was over 10 grand had to be fucking reported. So what these drug dealers would do was they would go out and they'd buy a car worth 9 grand for cash, and then they drive it around for like a fucking week, and then they trade it in for a car worth 16 grand. Maybe get 7 for theirs, and then they throw another fucking 9 at the other car. Now they got a $16,000 car. You drive around for a little bit, you fucking trade it in on a $23,000 car. They give you whatever, and so on and so forth. Until you trade your way all the way up to whatever fucking car you wanted. I just look at that shit. It's like, I mean, that's not the deepest thing, but that's the way my brain would work. I'd be like, well, I guess I gotta drive a piece of shit then. What's the point of dealing drugs? Right? Or I'd just say, fuck it. I'm buying a Ferrari and I'm gonna drive it until they catch me fucking 3 weeks later. By the way, the Ferrari I like is the Ferrari California. That's the old man one. The fucking GT, the Grand Touring one, right? I don't need to ride around in some Batmobile. Just give me one that's shaped like a fucking Jaguar from back in the day, you know? Or maybe a Toyota Supra. Remember those fucking things from the 80s? I remember this guy loaned me his while he used my truck to move. And I ran and I beat the shit out of his car and he beat the fuck out of my truck. And we both got our cars back and he's smelling rubber. And I'm seeing all kinds of scratches all over my truck. And we just, it's kind of a fair deal, right? And then we both got arrested for drinking and driving months later. But that's a completely different story. I know. I'm all over the map. I'm doing this late night. And I don't want to be doing it right now. But I got shit to do in the morning. So anyways, this fucking guy, you know, if he had half a fucking brain, what you do is you keep your day job. Right? You keep your fucking day job, and then, you know, for anything miscellaneous, you just go to the parking meters. Right? And what you do is you start storing up on the quarters. Then every once in a while, right, you start washing the money with your fucking cat. I know what you do. You fucking, you go into stores and stuff. Who gives a fuck, right? You just use it to get yourself a better TV. But what does this dope do? He gets fucking greedy. I don't even remember how the fucking story goes. All I know is he just started hitting every fucking goddamn parking meter around. And next thing you know, he's sitting on like a fucking $2 million in quarters, and he ended up getting busted.
But there was a part of it, I liked the guy. You know? So have him call him up.
Yes, it is. It is just as fucking bad. So anyways, to stay... now I'm already off fucking track. You know what my fucking bank did to me? I walked in. I had this account in New York that I kind of... it was a little checking account that had a little bit of money in. And all of a sudden I noticed they were taking some fees out. I'm like, well, that shouldn't be. So I get to New York. I walk in. I talk to the douchebag who works there. And he goes, yeah, they're taking $27 a month out. I don't know why that is. Here, let me check to see what's up. Click, 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 click on his thing. And he goes, yeah, we shouldn't have been doing that. And I go, okay, well, can you refund the money? And they go, absolutely. And I go, well, you know, I've had the account for like 6 years. Can we see how long you've been doing this? And he's like, I'm sorry, our records only go back for 4 months. Really? It only goes back for 4 months? That's amazing, because my bank records at home go back the entire time I've had the account. That's incredible. And I just have some piddly sum in there while you deal with hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, if not trillions. I don't know what the fuck you have. I just know there's a fucking bank of yours in every goddamn state now. But of course, it only goes back like 4 months. So I go, all right, well, what if I bring my records in? I look them over and I find out how long you've been doing it. And they're like, no, we can only refund it for 4 months. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? And he goes, well, the bank kind of looks at it like that was on you. And I was like, it's on me to not be like paying attention to make sure the people who are supposed to be keeping my money safe aren't fucking stealing from me? And he sort of like laughed. I'm like, dude, this isn't funny. This is ridiculous. You guys just stole from me. And if you've been doing it for 6 years, what's that? $270 and another fucking 50, like almost $300 a year for 6 years. That's like $1,500 to $1,800, somewhere in there. And the guy's just sitting there fucking laughing. And, you know, this is the usual shit. Yeah, what are you going to sue us? Go ahead. We'll take some of that bailout money, which is part of your tax money, and we'll fucking... So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to close out the account, and I don't know, what do I do? Then I go across the street to one of the 4 banks that are left. If anybody out there is in banking, how do I get my money back beyond the 4 months? Because I know that they've been doing it longer than this. Can anybody explain that? You know, this is why, people. This is why you don't put 100% of your paycheck into the fucking bank. You got to look at it this way. If somebody mugged you last week, would you walk up to the same person and take your paycheck and stick it in their back pockets? You wouldn't, would you? But for some reason, we have these fucking bankers. Yeah, I don't know. I think everybody should turn, like, I don't know. Everybody should have a fucking safe that you have buried somewhere. Everybody's got a gun and anybody can blow anybody away. I know, it's all fucked up. Fucking assholes. The guy's sitting there fucking smiling. You know what he's sitting there doing? He's doing that little twirly thing. You know that math people do with their pens and people who are into finances? I think they do it to hypnotize you. Is that the guy's fucking sitting there telling me that they've been stealing $30 a month from me, and all I'm doing is I'm trying to focus on him. I keep looking down at his silver shiny pen. Some sort of mind trick. Fortunately, I was aware of it. I almost said, can you stop twirling your fucking pen? But I didn't want to do that because I was trying to keep my cool, which obviously is a difficult thing for me to do. You know? I know right now, Bill, it's just $27 a month. Times how many fucking people? You remember Superman 3 when Richard Pryor stole half a cent from everybody and the next day he had a fucking Ferrari? These fucks are taking $27 a month from everybody. I'm convinced of it. It's the fucking mob. I swear to God, the mob went legit, or those There Will Be Blood guys. They're the fucking assholes that run the goddamn banks. These fucking cunts are just stealing from me, and there's nobody's going to help me. What am I going to go down there? I'm going to get that guy who used to be on the fucking Leave It to Beaver. What the fuck was the name of that show? Mayberry. I always hated that show. That old cunt walking around with their falsetto voice. Andy! You know what that show lacked? Somebody that I wanted to bang. That's why I didn't watch it. There was nobody fuckable on it. That was the brilliance of the Munsters. That they were like, this is going to be hilarious. We're going to turn fucking Frankenstein and Dracula into these kooky characters, and it's all going to be funny. But they knew at the end of the day there had to be somebody that the male demographic would want to fuck. So they came up with that girl who was allegedly ugly. Why am I explaining this classic show? You know the deal. and she looked like Marilyn Monroe. And that's what kept you in there. I don't know, right? Batman, after a while, it's like, dude, what is going on with this 40-year-old guy and his ward? And then all of a sudden they had Catwoman walking around that fucking hoary outfit. Is she the one who started that shit? Did women not dress like whores on Halloween before Batman? Or Batgirl? Or Catwoman? Catwoman was the bad one, right? They're such pathetic cunts. You know what I mean? Will you take off that fucking ridiculous outfit? Go stand behind a wall and start talking to people. And listen to how many people even fucking pay attention to you. They don't, because you got nothing to say. All you can do is just dress up, you goddamn twat, and start strutting around the fucking place. That had nothing to do with Catwoman. That had nothing to do with her. It had to do with me fucking getting fucked over by that goddamn bank. Assholes. Fucking assholes. So now I got to go down there. I got to go down there like some fucking guy whose button store just failed after 75 years. You know, Frankie Fishface and Sons. Remember those fucking those businesses when you were a kid? It was always something and Sons. You know, and like a lot of the times the kids were forced into the business. You know, some Italian guy, he opens a fucking prosciutto shop, and then that's it. It's like an arranged marriage, except it's your job. And then you got to show up and be, I have been working in a restaurant since I was 8 years old. You know, they don't know shit about anything else. So everybody wanted to strike out on their own. And now look, everybody ends up in a fucking cubicle working for these fucking cunts who are stealing my money. That's uplifting, isn't it? Wait a minute. I forgot to bring this up. Do you guys know that one of my fantasies is coming true this week? No, it's not reading copy correctly. There's 2 bankers being put to death in Vietnam. Let me look this up here. Death, Vietnam. Vietnamese bankers sentenced to death for fraud. Here we go. This is what should have been happening in this country in 2008. Like, it already should have, like, there should have been at least 100 bankers dead. You know what you should do is, like, smother them with cash. No, what you do is you tie them to the mast of their yacht or their sailboat, right? And then you put a bunch of cash at their feet, all the cash that they stole. You just light it on fire, right? Like Jonah fucking Ark. Let me see if I can find where the fuck is it. Here we go. Yahoo Free News. Let's go here. A Vietnamese former banker and his business associates have been sentenced to death for their part in the embezzlement of $25 million. State media has reported. $25 million and you get the goddamn death sentence. All right? So I figured that the people at AIG, they ought to have like what happened to William Wallace at the end of Braveheart, whatever that fucking thing is. Well, they just pull out your fucking entrails like machete. The pair were among 11 defendants in the 9-day trial in Ho Chi Minh City. State media reported on Saturday in a case that has heightened Vietnam's effort to show it is stamping out corruption in the face of widespread public anger over the issue. That's the only part of this story I don't like. The fact that they're trying to make an example. So now I think that they just got a couple of Ollie Norths here. They're going to kill 2 people or 11 and be like, see, we're doing something, and then it goes right back. Now, I don't know what politicians make in Vietnam, but if it's anything like over here, you know, the bankers put them in office, so I have no fucking idea. But anyways, this is the deal. Vu Quoc Hao, 58, the one-time chief of the finance subsidiary of the state-owned Vietnam Agribank and building firm boss Dang Van Hai, 56, were sentenced to death on Friday, according to state television. They were given the sentence for embezzlement of assets, mismanagement, abuse of power, and fraud, causing serious consequences to the state. Sound familiar, everybody? I just did that what I hated last week. Sound familiar? The other 9 defendants were jailed for up to 14 years for violating state economic regulations, the report added. The group was accused of embezzling more than $25 million of state money between April 2008 and March 2009 by falsifying financial leasing contracts, according to reports on state media. Vietnam is rated one of the world's most corrupt nations, and graft is a top concern for many ordinary people. The communist government has vowed to clamp down on the issue. There will be strict punishment for state I'm not going to read the rest of this shit. I'll spare you guys. I read it pretty well up to that point. So there you go. There you go. See that? It doesn't matter what kind of government you have. A democracy, communism, socialism, dictatorship, the fucking bankers are running shit. And they need to be put down in the fucking street and replaced with honest people. You know? Like some of those fine folks that I met out there in the heartland. That would be great. I would actually go to the execution. As fucking morbid as that is. You know? I would actually go there.
All right, banker cunts. All right, Billy Boy. So have you heard about these greedy cunts at Goldman Sachs? That was kind of a national story. What, did they do something else? You said they cornered a large share of the market in aluminum and then betted on the futures of aluminum with the price going up. Sounds illegal? It is, but of course those stupid fucking cunts found a loophole in the law. The loophole is that 25 tons of aluminum is supposed to leave the warehouse every day. However, the law doesn't specify where it had to go. So they would just send it to another warehouse of theirs, and technically it didn't leave the warehouse. In the New York Times article, they interviewed people who previously worked at these warehouses. They would jokingly send each other messages and say, hey, get that shipment of aluminum. But really, they were just transferring it to an adjacent warehouse. I don't even get what the fuck's going on here. Of course, Goldman Sachs has recently posted its largest quarter profit of over $2 billion. When can we take these bankers out into the street and just shoot them? All joking aside, this shit is insider trading and they should be prosecuted, but we know that won't happen. P.S. Know you're busy for a while, but when are you coming back to Atlanta? I actually don't know. I don't know when I'm coming back to Atlanta. You know what? That's one of those things I should have read that 20 times in a row and learned what exactly is going on. I think this is basically how they get away with it, is that there's too many people like myself that don't even understand what was going on there. All that stuff, betting on futures, I don't even understand what any of that means. I was just in the stock market long enough to realize, like, hey, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I basically felt like I was standing at a crap table. I put my money on a crap table, and I wasn't even in the casino. You know, I was in a different state, and then I was calling somebody else up going, hey, how's the game going? You know, I saw a couple of stats at the bottom of the screen, and I can't even read them. I don't even know if the game's even being played. That's what I can't get past about everybody listening to this podcast. You don't have any of the money that you earn every week. You don't have any of it. You ever think about that? It's a number on a piece of paper. You take it to the bank, and then they stick that number in your ATM. Then occasionally you go to the ATM, and they give you a piece of paper that is only worth something because everybody says it's worth something. But you really have nothing of value. What you have is the piece of paper that's part of the lie. So that is the genius of all of this shit. And through penalties and fees and taxes and all that crap, they get you even further removed where you have to invest it. You know, why do I have to fucking invest it? You can't, I don't know. You don't get anything. You don't get anything of fucking value. The only thing that has value is the lie. And as long as the lie continues, I mean, isn't this the month where we go to raise the debt ceiling every fucking year? Eventually that wave's going to crash. I don't know. I hope when the wave crashes that all races and all economic levels somehow put down their differences and they all come together and we just start walking towards gated communities. All right? There you go.
How much are you stealing that you have to live behind a gated community? They're sitting there acting like they're afraid that we're going to steal their shit. It's like you got your shit by stealing from us. All right? Anarchy? Sorry.
Hey, how come you can't protest without getting tear gas shot at you? All around the world. You know, they act like we want to hear from our people. And you go out there and you're just sitting out there. All you're doing is you got signs and you're chanting. And then the cops come down there and they start pushing people around and they throw fucking tear gas. I don't understand. Why can't you do that? Why aren't you allowed to protest? Look, I understand if you go down there and you start breaking windows and that type of shit. But I actually believe, and I know you guys are going to think that I'm paranoid. If I was in power, I would just say, hey, how old's your son? Yeah, send him out there and have him throw a rock through a window so we can look justified when we get rid of these fucking people out here. I'm sorry. I'm going back down the fucking rat hole again. Somebody sent me a great rant that this guy went on a news program, and he was talking about the bankers. Because I can't even watch news right now with our government might shut down in a couple of days. But this guy was basically going off, saying all that banker shit that I was trying to say a few years ago when I started watching those videos, and everybody was saying, oh, these are fucking fat guys living in their mother's basements who they don't have any lives, and you're just, you're drinking the Kool-Aid and all this shit. Now, look, a lot of that stuff, we never landed on the moon. I'll give you all that shit. Okay? Maybe all of that stuff. 9/11's an inside job. I'm not talking about any of that fucking crap. But that banker shit, I'm telling you, that banker shit is dead on. Dead fucking on. It's not the left. It's not the right. It's those cunts right in the middle with money on both sides of the ball. It's those guys. And I have to tell you, dude, the fact that the president only makes $400,000 a year, and that just the way they frame it, like, oh, he's a public servant, and it's the biggest crock of shit out there. The only person who would take that job, you'd have to be the biggest fucking yes man on the planet just to get there. Who the fuck would run for a job where it costs $100 million to get it so you can make $400,000 a year? That isn't a red flag to anybody. Then you get to go around giving speeches $1 million a whack, like that isn't your kickback for fucking pushing through whatever they wanted. I just think it's so beyond corrupt. And I used to think shit like, I can't believe we're letting these pencil-pushing, banking pussies push us around. But it's not them. It's the fact that people will do anything for money. So when you have that kind of money, you can hire psychos. And, I don't know. You get that Lincoln Town car ride, the convertible in Dallas. All right. I spoke about it vaguely, but you know what I'm saying. All right, let's move on.
B of A outage. Hey, Banker Bill, I work for B of A, and from the customer service side, that outrage was very stressful. If you haven't already mentioned it / found out, the outrage was a result of oh, Jesus Christ. This guy works for the fucking bank. He's gonna tell me what happened, and he can't even spell the words right. I don't, you wrote half a word here, buddy. SEVER. A sever reboot? Is that supposed to be a severe reboot? Is sever a word? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I was told from my boss's boss in passing, when he was leaving work, one of the tech guys managing the server ran a program to check for viruses and shit. Okay, this guy manages your money. Check for viruses and shit. Oh, God, he talks like me. And the program made... Jesus Christ. The program made that one particular server to shut down, causing the rest of our online products to not work. That's a sentence by a guy who works at a bank. The program made that one particular server to shut down. To shut down? The program made that one particular server shut down? Is that what you mean? Causing the rest of our online products to not work. The bank had to restart all the servers to sync that tech crap up, resulting in the 6-hour delay. From the call center, side, we could still see all the balances and account information. Clients themselves just couldn't process any maintenance. Nothing made my day more enjoyable than apologizing to client after client for our system error. Had a few people in the situation you mentioned on Thursday. What? Where they stuck outside the country with no money. Oh, had a few people in the situation you mentioned on Thursday where they are stuck outside the country. This guy should have been in summer school next to me. Totally agree. You need to have backup plans when it comes to accessing your money, whether it be multiple bank accounts or stuffing some cash underneath the pillow where you rest your bald, freckled dome at night. Keep doing what you're doing and go fuck yourself. Yeah, I've never met a banker that believes in the banking system, if you really talk to them about it. They're nervous, too. I don't know. Anyways, was that supposed to make me feel better? I mean, I guess it's good that no one hacked into your system. You guys just kind of were running something and something got fucked up. But he agreed with me. Yeah, have a little money here, a little money there, a little money there. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. We all know that, right? Because then everything's going to be on the arm with the fucking one flew of the cuckoo's nest.
What are you going to do? Did you hear Bank of America? Evidently their entire fucking system was down. How does that happen? That's not scary enough, is it? Jesus Christ. I hope they... I should look that up. I should look that up before I cause a run on a bank. Is that the name of a song? Run on a Bank? Is that a Bob Seger song? What's that? Ain't no surprise. Oh, that's Love on the Rocks, not Run on a Bank. Love on the Rocks. Ain't no big surprise. I thought it was Run on a Bank. Grab them by their ties. Especially with their milk white fucking thighs. Why does my internet suck in every fucking room? I swear to God, whoever my internet company is, they have to have a poster of me on the wall going, we need more customers like this. He pays 10 times what he should fucking pay. It never works, and he never complains unless he's doing his podcast. But who gives a fuck, because he never calls us. So what do we care? We just keep taking his fucking money. All right, here we go. Bank of America. Fuck yeah. Everyone in the world is jealous of us. Everyone wants to be just like us. That's why they hate on us. All right, maybe we've gotten out of line in a few areas. All right, evidently it's loading. You know what I mean? Watching my computer try to get on the internet, like waiting for it for load, it's like watching me try to remember shit from fucking 2 days ago. Oh, you sneaky fucking bastards. This isn't what I wanted. I didn't want your website. I wanted the fucking gossip. What do I got to hit? Bank of America /TMZ? Bank of fucking America. Here we go again. Bank of America. Google. Here we go. Here we go. What do you got? What do we got? Customers shut out of accounts during apparent Bank of America outage. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I'm just picturing someone with one of those. What's that white mask that those fucking hackers wear when they want to shut down the corporations? All right, here we go. Bank of America customers were shut out from their accounts. Oh, an advertisement. Oh, Ralph's. Jesus, you know what? I will buy a honey of a ham. All right, we're back. Bank of America customers were shut out from their accounts for several hours Wednesday in a system outage. You know somebody's fucking, didn't get dialysis so their heart stops. We're so at the feet of these fucking cunts. Coral Springs resident Eric Sleeper. Oh, he's a sleeper. You never think he could run that fast in those work boots, and there he goes down the street. Said we got what looked like a phishing email from the bank Wednesday and immediately started calling customer service to see if something was wrong. A message on his online account said it could not pull up his information. When we called his local branch, a manager said that local managers were calling each other trying to figure out what caused what appeared to be a national outage and why they were unable to provide certain services. Like what? Provide you with the money that you need?
On downdetector.com, a website that tracks reports of system outages, reports started spiking after 11:30 a.m. and the website was inundated with comments from Bank of America customers. Dude, what the fuck? Send around the country saying they couldn't access online banking, computer transit. By 1 p.m., they had received nearly 1,000 reports of problems. But by Wednesday evening, although some customers were still reporting problems, the number of reports had gone down considerably to about 200. And then this is their comment. I know that the team is working quickly to bring everything back up. As time progresses, they should be able to go back online. I would really love to see what really happened. Bank of America, system-wide outage on the day I'm closing on my house, and there's nothing I can do about it. Bank of America, you closed my bank account with no notice. How can I deposit my check when I no longer have an account? Stuck in Thailand. What is up with not being able to transfer? System has been down for 3 hours. Oh, Jesus, Jenny, that's nothing compared to the guy stuck in Thailand. The clerk at Bank of America just said, I can't make a deposit because of nationwide disruption. Anyone know what's up? All right, yeah, okay. All right, well, let's just hope that was a one-time thing. Nothing to see here. That's fucking scary. That's why you got to have your money in like 3 different banks. I don't care if you got $40. Put 15 in one, 10 in another. What do we got left there? What's that, 25? You got 15 in the last one, right? 15, 15, and 10. It's a fucking shell game out there, man. Then when you got to pay your rent, you write 3 different checks. Why don't you just write it for the full amount? Because I'm not going to get stuck in Thailand, you cunt. What do you care as long as it all works?